Good morning and welcome to the new edition, a new episode of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. When COVID happened a couple of years back in its full fury, many assumed, rightly or wrongly, that it was a bioweapon being released. And there is a deep connectivity of these pandemics and vaccines. And that gave a certain edge to the conspiracy theories that this was a bioweapon. Now you would be amazed at the currency this gained, but then it's not the first time that bioweapons have been designed. This is not the first time that the vaccines were discovered or invented or made to face the pandemics. They have been for ages. But this is for the first time that the work on the vaccine started even before the pandemic. Now, don't be shocked, that's it. On February 26, the Wall Street Journal reported that the United States Energy Department had concluded, according to them, unequivocally, and it's not vague, just January 26, that COVID-19 pandemic came from a Yuan lab leak, confirming that the virus was engineered. There were reports earlier also that the beginning was done in Canada. From here in Canada, the secret was stolen or purloined or whatever you want to call it, take it you want, where the work was done. Now, this report of the Wall Street Journal that COVID-19 pandemic came from a lab leak confirming that the virus was humanly engineered is quite revealing. Now, whether this makes COVID-19 a bioweapon or not, whether it was purposely or accidentally released as a test case, this is a matter either of conjecture or of further studies. But very few realize that a dangerous work it is, and more dangerous when the pandemic and the recent vaccine rollout have ushered in. But they say history always provides insight. Indication is that the gain of function research caused a pandemic. Now, gain of function, yes. Even before the pandemic, vaccine companies researched coronavirus vaccines. When there was no coronavirus, they were researching for the coronavirus vaccines. And the plea was to prepare for a scenario in which the virus was transmitted from an animal to human. Were they seers? Were they astrologers? Were they futurologists? I leave it to you to judge. But imagine a scenario that you start preparing to counter something which is not there and spend millions of dollars on the research. There must be something wrong somewhere. Now, even if all this research was conducted with the best intentions, it shows the potential dangers. Over the past few years, vaccine companies have made billions and research has advanced greatly. Imagine what scientists could do with additional knowledge. Now imagine what a scientist working for an evil state actor could do. And history is a testimony to that. Not long back, the scientists working in Germany for the Nazi government, Hitler government, were doing the same thing. And that gives rise to a thought. Could scientists be working on a virus to see the bioweapon and also a vaccine to protect certain individuals against the virus? You should not dismiss this as unlikely because this is exactly what happened during World War II. And this is exactly what the Nazi scientists planned during the Second World War and came very close to executing. Now, very well respected scientists like Dr. Eugene Hagen, Dr. Kurt Blom, and Sergeant Brigadier General Schicklberg worked on such plans under Adolf Hitler. The Führer gave the instructions, and these eminent, capable scientists followed it up. And if allies had not prevailed, the bioweapons could have killed millions of people without harming the German population and the soldiers. These scientists had a key immoral advantage: human experiments. The large number of the Jew prisoners were their human guinea pigs. They could test not only their bioweapons but also their vaccines on the prisoners. And in order to successfully unleash a biological weapon against an enemy force, the attacking army had to have already created its vaccine against the deadly pathogens it intended to suppress. So being inoculated, being vaccinated would give them an advantage, and they could march forward without any fear. And nowadays when the army marches, the infantry goes for front, but here the pathogens would go in front. They were the unseen, unheard infantry, but killing millions of people. The vaccine would act as a shield for its own soldiers and also for the civilians. And the biological weapons would act as a sword. Now, this is described beautifully by Annie Jackson. She wrote a book, Operation Paperclip, the secret intelligence program that brought Nazi scientists to America worth reading. And she shows how that those scientists who were working for Nazis were slowly brought, secretly brought, and then they started working from USA. Now, my point is, could modern scientists employed by an evil state actor, I'm not naming the state, finish the work of the Nazi scientists? They started it, the bioweapon development and the vaccine development. Could that work not be continued? And as a matter of fact, if we look at it historically, in Bible, Revelation 6 provides insight into terrible sufferings ahead. Verse 4, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace on the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there be given unto him a great sword. The sword is the word used in Bible for military equipment. And that was a great one. Now come to, how about hydrogen bomb? How about the nerve gas? You have seen that sarin gas. How about the chemical warfare? How about all those things that can absolutely annihilate the world and the human beings from this earth? You know, bioweapons are not only COVID or other diseases. Your nerve gas, the chemical, the mustard gas. You remember the Vietnam War, My Lai massacre, where the children was set on fire by the napalm bombs. That's a bioweapon. When biologically you kill the animal, and the Bible, as I said earlier, reveals that the weapons of mass destruction are about to be employed. Would it save mankind? I don't think so. So efforts have been underway by all the states. Sometimes we forget it. And sometimes we purposely ignore it. But the fact remains that the bioweapons have been encouraged in the centuries. There was also a suspicion in the beginning that smallpox was purposely spread. Theories, unsubstantiated of course, but there could be some truth in that. But the Nazi experiments are well documented. Now, is the history going to repeat itself? I hope not. But this curious information that the work on the vaccine started prior to the pandemic sent some alarming signals, shows something which is not known. Maybe what we know is just the tip of the iceberg. Maybe it was an absolutely pure scientific research. But maybe also it was a calculated effort to protect your people. Curiously, have you seen that when millions died, the political leaders did not. Doctors have died, nurses have died, paramilitary forces have died. But have you heard of any such tragedy falling on the leaders? No. That sends alarm bells ringing. And let me tell you, I'm no alarmist, but I'm a realist and a pragmatic person. If this report I had not read on February 26th, and then the bell did not ring about the Nazi experiment, I would not be talking about it. But as it is, we have got to ponder whether we can do something about it, whether the sane elements in many political leaders, and I'll tell you, there are hundreds of political leaders all over the world who are very honest, very sane, and very human. They abhor such an action. And thanks to them, we are still safe. But are we really safe? That's $1 million question you have to think about. And then ruminate what to do. What is our fate? This has set me thinking. How about you giving it a thought? And then cause a debate in the world that the history must not repeat itself. Thank you.